And you're here for Damsels in
Distress.
right? And I have to say, they got me at hello when the credits came up, and it was like the way he had done the credits of like, here's the Damsels and here's the Distress.
I
And
know.
I thought that was super clever.
And the pink Sony Pictures Classics logo.
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone's ever done anything with their logo because it's so simple, but just turning it pink
it's
was
great.
exciting.
What made you want to do this part?
Well, I'm feeling a little self-conscious because I know Whit's here, but I'm going to say really nice things. I was a huge Whit Stillman fan.
Metropolitan changed films, I think.
In
large part.
I used to quote his dialogue all the time, but I couldn't really do it until college because it was only in college that people knew it, because
how did you find him when you were like from Northern California, right?
Yes, I found him through well, weirdly, Last Days of Disco did play at the Art House Theater when I in '98. So I saw Last Days of Disco there, and I loved it so much. And then I think I like hunted down the VHSs of the other two, which was hard. And but I had the chance to see it in the theater, which was like really, really exciting. And I thought it was so funny and so smart, and it felt like I was watching a Oscar Wilde play or looking at a Jane Austen novel being reenacted, but it was disco, and I just adored it. And it was sort of in the tradition of like all of the New York movies that I loved, which made me want to move to New York so badly. And so that was all part of my fantasy world. So then to do this is incredible for me.
Yeah. So did you? And also, I was reading in some of the production notes that he hadn't decided on who was kind of going to play who.
Right.
At first, you kind of went in just generally.
Yes, I just went. I really would have been so happy to play any of the parts, but I really had a deep feeling for Violet, and I loved her so much because when I first started reading the script, I thought she was kind of insufferable, and I didn't, because she had so many opinions and she was so critical and outspoken. But then by the end of it, I adored her. She was my favorite one. I thought she was such a mess of contradiction. She's a liar, but she's also incredibly sincere on some fundamental level,
and self-critical too. That was I love that part.
Totally, and loves people criticizing her. She's a glutton for it, and it's anyway. It just seemed like one of the most wonderful characters that I've ever read on the page, and I really wanted it, and I tap danced for the audition, even though I wasn't asked to, and then I got it.
Do you tap?
I do. I grew up tapping, and I grew up loving like movie musicals.
How did you grow up tapping? Just as a kid loving tap dance?
I mean, I did all kinds of dance.
Freak Astaire, which is
Freak
very
Astaire. There was a formative trip to New York when I was around 5, and I saw the revival of 42nd Street, and they were still hiring really giant dance corps in Broadway shows, which they don't do as much anymore because it's really expensive. But I just remember like row after row of tappers coming out, dressed up in money costumes, and I went home and my mom signed me up for tap. I can't believe my luck. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's keep it up. Well, it's great to see you.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you too.